The Service Asset and Configuration Management (SACM) is a process that works across the entire life cycle. It aims to provide a logical model of IT infrastructure, correlating IT services and different IT components. Do remember that this is a logical model? The physical model will depend on the software you use, the vendors you get, and your infrastructure. Now, what could be considered a service asset? To give you a clue, there are 9 of them. Do take a minute to write your answers down. Now let's check your answers. Management, organization, process, knowledge, people, which is both a capability and a resource, information, applications, infrastructure, and financial management. The DML is a secure store or a library in which you store all the authorized versions of your media CIs and keep them protected. These physical CIs and electronic CIs are kept in the DML. Their status could be checked in the CMDB via the CMS. From here, it creates a single point of reference whereby you build, test, and distribute new release. We have thought during the day class how vital it is to keep track of your configuration baselines. You will need to make use of release policy, especially for wide deployment across different regions, different countries, or even different branches. It includes a unique identification, numbering or naming conventions for different types of releases together with a description. The roles and responsibility at each stage of release and deployment management process, the requirement to only use software assets from the DML and not from unlicensed sources, the expected frequency of each type of release, the approach for accepting and grouping changes into a release, the key activities of release and deployment process, and the need to provide ELS, early life support, which transit into service operation in a controlled manner and establish the new service capability and resources. And according to release policy, a service or the IT infrastructure could be released together using a release unit. It's time for exercise again. What are the 3 ideal primary release approaches? Yes, you're right. Big bang versus phase, push and pull, automation versus manual. Before we end this session, it's worth to take a second look at service knowledge management. The SKMS is a set of tools and databases that are used to manage knowledge and information of the experience of the staff, records of referrals, suppliers and partners' requirements and abilities, as well as typical and anticipated user skill level. The service knowledge management process makes use of a structure known as DIKW. D stands for data, I stands for information, K stands for knowledge, and W stands for wisdom. Mix and match your answers onto this slide. Now let's check your answers. Well done, and let's move on to the next section.